Good evening and welcome to Sun Connection. Tonight I would like to take 5 minutes of your time to talk to you about eclipses and what they mean in astrology and how we actually use them. So there's two kinds of eclipse. We have solar eclipses and we have lunar eclipses. And in order to have an eclipse, we basically need to have the sun, the moon, and the earth to be aligned. So when the moon is in between the sun and the earth, we actually have a solar eclipse. And that eclipse can be total, which means that the moon will fully cover the sun, or it can be an annular eclipse or a ring eclipse, which means that behind the moon, we still will see a little bit of the sun and it will make like a halo around the disk of the moon. And the same principle applies for lunar eclipse. In that case, it would be the Earth that would be in between the sun and the moon. As the sun lit the planet Earth, the planet Earth is actually cast shadowing on the moon, and that's what causes the moon eclipse. We have on average between 4 to 7 eclipses every year, and in ancient cultures, eclipses were actually bad omen. They were predicting misfortunes as well as disasters. It was the anger of the gods. And the belief was that there was a message, there was a warning about something coming up. In astrology, we actually use the power of the eclipse, and it would be similar to supermoon. Now, supermoon and eclipses are different, but in terms of magnitude, in terms of energy for the interpretation, it's about the same. The supermoon is when the moon is at its closest point to the earth, and therefore the moon is much bigger, much brighter, and it heightens our emotion. The eclipse is tightly linked to the nodes of the moon. So it brings with it the concept of destiny. As an eclipse would be close to the north node of the moon, then it would be linked to your evolution. And if the eclipse is linked to the south node of the moon, then it has to do with the past. All the things that we have done, all the things that we need to leave behind us, and the thing that we need to change for our evolution and our elevation. The other thing I could say is when it comes to eclipse and the changes that we make, they tend to be quite radical, and often we never turn back. We don't look back. It just happens. So at a personal level, what's very important to look at, to consider an eclipse is, where is it? And is it making any conjunction to a planet or a cardinal point in your chart? If the eclipse happened in a place in your chart where it doesn't make much impact, then chances are the influence will be quite soft and you won't feel it too much. But if you have an eclipse, for example, on your sun or your ascendant or your moon or any other planet, you will definitely feel the impact, the influence of that eclipse. The other way we can look at eclipse is to study mondial astrology, to study the collective changes. And I also know some astrologers that actually look at weather forecast based on eclipse to predict drought or to predict floods. You know, it's like a supermoon. It can have an impact on the rise of the ocean. So they use it in that regard. The next eclipse, will happen in a couple of days. It's on the 3rd of October here in Australia. I think it's on the 2nd of October in Europe. And it's going to be at around 10 degrees in Libra. So for the people who do have planets in Libra, within that orb, you know, from 7 to 12 degrees in Libra, well, there's probably going to be some changes within their relationship, because Libra is the sign of relationship. And when I mean relationship, I talk about personal relationship, but I also talk about friend relationship, family relationship, work relationship. And it can also be linked to justice. You see, Libra is also the sign of legal matters. So there could be some things happening there. And this particular eclipse, it's close to the south node, so it has to do with which are the things that you need to let go, you know, which are the things that do not serve a purpose anymore, and you need to let go for your own evolution. So for those people who have the a planet at these degrees in Libra, there will very much be the need to find a balance within their relationship, and they will need to find a way to honor their desire and their needs. But they need to be careful to address those things not in a not in an aggressive way, not in the confrontation. They need to embrace the grace and the harmonious, beautiful qualities of Libra, and not go into the fiery energy of the Aries. That's it. I hope this has shed some light on the eclipse and on how we use them. If you like this video, please follow our channel. If you want to put a thumbs up, by any means, please do so. If you have any question, or if you would like to make a comment, please put it in the section below, and it will be my pleasure to answer all of them. And I wish you to observe this magnificent eclipse that will happen in a couple of days, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you. Goodbye.